Bully messed with the wrong black kid in the locker room until he did this in front of a breaking point. The day Zaire Ellis stood tall from the moment Zaire Ellis first entered the Blue Ridge High locker room. Every pair of eyes tracked his steps. It was not because he was late, nor because he seemed lost, but because he was the only black student on the entire varsity team. And the boys there made certain he felt that difference. Zaire squeezed the strap of his gym bag until his knuckles blanched. He had worked relentlessly for this scholarship to Blue Ridge, a prestigious, mostly white school, renowned for its flawless basketball record. He had expected challenges, but he could never have prepared for the icy stares, the whispered comments, and the heavy tension in the air, as if he were trespassing in a place he had not been invited. Coach Rollins was the only one to offer a semblance of welcome. Ellis locker 28, suit up, drills in 10, he said, eyes fixed on his clipboard. Zaire nodded, keeping his head down, trying to ignore the muttered taunts behind him. Look at the charity case. Watch, he will drag us down. His mother's words echoed in his mind. Keep your chin up, Zaire. You belong wherever you have earned your place. Yet in that moment, he just wanted to vanish. He opened his locker to find a note taped inside. Wrong side of town. Zaire crushed the paper in his fist, shoving it deep into his pocket. At first, he tried to retreat into himself. He focused on his drills, made his shots, and kept his mouth shut when laughter followed his rare misses. But the walls pressed closer. Each day, even teachers seemed to treat him like he was an outsider who might break the rules. He sat alone in class, took his seat in the furthest cafeteria corner, and braced for the daily jabs in the locker room. The ringleader was Emmett Roteam, captain, tall, all muscle and confidence, with sun-bleached hair, and a father who had paid for half the new gym. Emmett, known as Golden Boy, had scholarships lined up and a reputation for getting whatever he wanted. The first time Emmett confronted Zaire was after practice. As Zaire finished tying his sneakers, a hand slammed his locker shut. Listen, Emmett said, voice low and cold. Do not think you can just walk in and act like you are one of us. Zaire swallowed. I am here to play basketball. Emmett sneered. You think that is all this is? You think you can steal my spot? He leaned in close, the scent of sweat and mint gum heavy between them. You are nothing here. That night, Zaire stared at the cracked ceiling of his cramped apartment. He promised himself he would not let them break him. But as weeks passed, the harassment only escalated. Emmett and his crowd did not let up. They called him names when coaches were not looking, shoved him in the hallways, even stuffed his gym bag into a toilet. Still, Zaire refused to react. He knew if he lost control, he might lose everything. He trained harder than anyone, running extra laps, shooting free throws until his arms shook. Even Coach Rollins began to notice, but that only fueled Emmett's anger. Trying to make us look bad, Emmett jeered one afternoon. Zaire ignored him and kept shooting. At lunch, Zaire sat alone, barely tasting his food. That was when Mr. Durbin, the history teacher, sat beside him. You holding up okay, Zaire? He asked softly. Zaire looked up. No teacher had ever asked. I am fine, he lied. Mr. Durbin smiled gently. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is endure. But do not think you are on your own. For a fleeting moment, Zaire almost believed him. The boiling point. One Friday, before the big game against Grant High, the locker room buzzed with nervous energy. Everyone was hyped except Zaire, who sat quietly tying his laces. Emmett sauntered over, grinning. Ellis, do not choke out there. Zaire kept looking down. Emmett's face darkened. I am talking to you. When Zaire did not respond, Emmett snapped. He grabbed Zaire's hoodie, jerking him upright. You think you can ignore me? The room fell silent. Zaire's heart pounded. Emmett's face was inches away, twisted with rage. You were messing with the wrong guy, he snarled, and his friends snickered behind him. Zaire wanted to fight back, to scream, to show he was not afraid, but he stayed still, jaw tight. Emmett shoved him against the lockers so hard the metal rattled. You are nothing, he spat. Zaire closed his eyes. He felt something break inside, but he did not react. After the game, while his teammates celebrated, Zaire sat isolated on the bench. They had won, but no one credited his assists or steals. Watching Emmett laugh with Coach, Zaire felt his resolve solidify. He knew he could not stay silent forever. The day was coming when he would not hold back. When it arrived, everyone would see who he truly was. The day everything changed. It was the eve of the state semifinals. Coach Rollins paced the gym, barking out orders. The team ran drills, sweat flying. Zaya moved with quiet determination, sinking shot after shot, ignoring the ache in his arms. Every bounce of the ball was a promise to himself. Emmett watched from the sidelines, jaw tense, never taking his eyes off Zaya. After practice, the team trickled into the locker room, the air thick with nerves and damp jerseys. Zaya went straight to his locker. Emmett's voice cut through the chatter. "Hey, charity case, think you will win it for us tomorrow?" Zaya did not reply. Emmett's grin grew. He thrived on attention. He stepped closer. "I asked you a question," he said, voice low. Zaya kept his focus on his shoelaces. Emmett, patience snapped. He lunged, slamming Zaya against the lockers, denting the metal. "Look at me when I speak to you," he screamed, spit flying. Zaya finally raised his eyes. For the first time, Emmett saw something new. No fear, no shame, just a steady, cold resolve. The room was silent. Phones appeared. Some boys filmed, others grinned. Emmett shoved him again. "You are nothing. Just a butt." The words died. Zaya's hands shot up. He gripped Emmett's wrists, twisting them away with a force that made Emmett gasp. "Let go," Zaya said, voice calm as ice. Emmett tried to pull free, but Zaya stepped forward, pinning him to the lockers. "Are you finished?" Zaya asked, eyes locked on his bully. Emmett's bravado faltered. "Get off me," he stammered, but Zaya did not budge. Years of pain, every insult, every shove, he let it all out. "If you ever lay hands on me again," Zaya whispered, each word deliberate, "you will regret it." Emmett lashed out, but Zaya was quicker. He dodged, caught Emmett's arm, and flipped him onto the floor in a smooth, practiced movement. Silence devoured the room. Emmett lay sprawled, gasping for breath. No one moved. Zaya stood tall, chest rising and falling. "How did he?" Tanner stammered. Bryce's mouth hung open. Coach Rollins burst in, face red. "What is going on?" he barked. Zaya looked up, voice steady. "My father taught me, sir. He was an army instructor. Self-defense. He made sure I could protect myself." The team murmured in surprise. Emmett groaned on the floor. Zaya met the coach's gaze. "I am not sorry," he said flatly. Coach's eyes darted from the witnesses to the bruises on Zaya's arms. For the first time, he seemed to understand what had been happening. Justice. At last, that afternoon, the principal summoned everyone. To the office the air was tense. Emmett sat with an ice pack, his father looming behind him. Zaya sat across the table, his mother squeezing his hand. The principal cleared his throat. "After reviewing security footage, it is clear this was not an unprovoked attack." Emmett's father exploded with outrage, but the principal interrupted. "The footage shows your son repeatedly initiating contact." Emmett turned crimson. Zaya's mother spoke up, her voice unwavering. "My son has been bullied since he arrived. If you had acted sooner, none of this would have happened." The room fell silent. The principal exhaled. "Emmett, you are suspended for 2 weeks. The rest of those involved will also be suspended and required to attend counseling." Emmett's jaw dropped. His father protested, but Zaya's mother stood, voice calm. "This is what justice looks like." By morning, the story had swept through the school. Some students avoided Zaya, others nodded at him in the halls. For the first time, he walked with his head high, no longer weighed down by shame. In the locker room, silence greeted him. Coach Rollins gathered the team. "We have a lot to learn," he said quietly, "but this ends here." Emmett's crew hung back, staring at the floor. Cire did not feel victorious or proud. He just felt free. That night, as he packed up, Tanner approached, eyes downcast. "I am sorry. We were wrong." Zaya zipped his bag. "Yes, you were." Tanner swallowed. "You did not deserve any of it." Zaya nodded, swinging his bag over his shoulder. "See you at practice." And he left. Later, Zaya stepped onto the empty gym floor. The polished court glowed under the lights. He walked to the free throw line, dribbled, and shot. The ball soared, whispering through the net. He tried again. This time there was no laughter, no jeers, just the calm echo of the ball as it dropped through the hoop. In that stillness, Zaya finally felt he belonged. If that moment resonated with you, if you believe in standing up to hate, smash that subscribe button. Share this story so more people can see what courage truly looks like.